Real quick, we've had a new entry into a statewide race. Jeff Landry now running for Attorney General. Seems like he's going to be running with the support of David Vtter. Looks like David Vtter has been tangling with Attorney General Buddy Caldwell over the whole issue of these EBT abuses that went on back in October of last year when 12,000 folks spent money they didn't have in their account, and seems like Vtter has been critical of the Attorney General that only 6 of these people so far are being prosecuted in some way. Now I get a press release from Jeff Landry saying he's running for Attorney General. 5 minutes later, a statement saying, hey, here's support from David Vtter. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I actually wrote a column about it yesterday morning, and basically what I called it was, basically, are you ready for the Tea Party? I think that David Vtter has been a very loyal Tea Party government official. I'm assuming he's a member of the Tea Party. I know he spoke a number of times, at least once, I should say, up in at your organization on North Shore. And he certainly has had a lot of open meetings, public meetings with the Tea Parties around the state. So I see this as an alliance with Vtter and Landry, and I think others will jump in too.
I'm not gonna say the name, but I was talking to a friend yesterday who was telling me that his brother's wife is involved in, let's just say, education. And David Vtter is already reaching out to this lady to be a part of his cabinet for education. And, we're a year and a half away from the election. He's already working on who's going to be part of his cabinet.
Yeah.
So, I mean, sounds like he's pretty confident he's going to win. And not only does he want to win, he wants to bring in other cabinet officials. He wants to make sure he's got a legislature he can work with. And somebody said it well. I mean, David Vtter, if he's elected governor, is going to be Bobby Jindal on steroids.
I mean, I certainly don't think he's going to be promising a position for support. I don't think he's that stupid, or stupid for that matter. I mean, my question is, and I think the last time we talked, you had real questions as to whether or not there would be any competition other than, say, John Bel Edwards, the Democrat, who nobody knows whether or not he's going to have any competition. Meaning that John Kennedy won't run and Jay Darden might not run.
That's the question. I think Darden could beat Vtter if you didn't have a Democrat in the race. I think if the Democrats had any brains, and what I find interesting is the Republicans nationally are stupid, but the Democrats locally are stupid. And I think if they wanted to really defeat Vtter, they would get behind Jay Darden, and I think that's the only vehicle they have to possibly beat him. John Bel Edwards or whoever, I mean, he's not going to win. Mitch Landry's not going to win. I don't think Mitch Landry's going to run.
Yeah, well, the recent poll, again, the PPP poll, that the same one that I cited earlier this morning, that they had Jindal with 35% favorables, although Jindal says his poll has him at 50%. But no other poll has him even close to that, except for his poll. And but basically has Vtter ahead of everybody, including one-to-one Landry, Darden, and so I think Vtter is a force to be reckoned with at this point in time.
I think the closest was Darden, though, if I'm not mistaken, among all the different potential challengers. And there was 30% undecided in that race when they did a matchup with Darden and Vtter. So we'll see. I mean, I think Darden will probably still run, because I think now you got Billy Nungesser, who's raised big money, and he's running for lieutenant governor. So Darden's going to be even having to face a well-funded Billy Nungesser if he wants to run for lieutenant governor again, or face David Vtter in the governor's race. So it's going to have a tough race either way.
Yeah, now what I personally find very interesting here with Vtter running for governor, and in the past, he has been able to, I don't want to say control, but at least be able to have some persuasion over certain legislators against Bobby Jindal on certain issues. And now that he's running, it's going to obviously be a whole lot more open. and he's going to be taking positions. Legislators who either believe the same as Vtter does, or at least or similar in philosophy, they're going to be more open. So I think you're going to see, a lot of corralling going on, and it's not going to be just, Jindal out there, with his program. It's going to be Vtter and his program, and maybe to a lesser extent, it could be Darden too. So here's a time, when you have a lame duck, as and Jindal says he's not a lame duck, but he's starting to quack. I certainly think you're going to have a lot of people out there who are going to be playing some major roles during this legislative session.
All right, and I think it's an opportunity for